video we are going to learn about the phylum Platyhelminthes. So Platyhelminthes. First, let's see the scientist who discovered or who called the name Platyhelminthes. The scientist was Gegenbauer. So he was the scientist who gave the name or called the name Platyhelminthes. So let's see how the term is derived. The term platy means flat and helminth means worm-like. So they are flat forms. So as the name suggests, platy means flat, helminths means worm. So they are flat forms. Why are they called flat forms? Because their body is dorso-ventrally flat. Dorso-ventrally flat means from the dorsal side and the ventral side it's very flat, because flat means we can talk about there are two possibilities. So they can be flat like this or they can be flat like this, because we have to be very specific. How are they flat? They are flat like this. That's why we call them dorso-ventrally flattened animals. And they are acoelomate. Platyhelminthes or flatworms are acoelomate organisms, and triploblastic. So acoelomate means they don't have any coelom or body cavity. Triploblastic means there are 3 germ layers, and also symmetry. Let's talk about the symmetry. They are bilateral symmetrical, bilaterally symmetrical, and bilateral symmetrical means that there is one plane which cuts the organism into 2 halves. That plane is called as sagittal plane. So this thing, all these acoelomate, triploblastic, the symmetries and the germ layers and the body plan, those all we have discussed in another separate video. So we're just learning it here now. So they're bilaterally symmetrical means there is a plane which divides this organism into 2 equal halves. That plane is called as sagittal plane. Now let's talk about their cephalization. There is cephalization. So cephalization is present here. Cephalization is the formation of head. They have this head, but the head is there is no brain. So there is no structure which is like brain or spinal cord. They don't have all of those things. There is just head. So we can just identify that head, but the head is also not so developed, not well developed, but we can say that there is a distinct head there, and there is no brain, and all of those nervous structures are not there. But here we can see this is the first phylum, that is Platyhelminthes, where we can see the formation of a head. Also we can talk about their habitat. Habitat of Platyhelminthes can be of 2. They can be endoparasitic or freshwater. Endoparasitic means they live on a host. They have the host. They live in someone's body. They depend on them for their nutrition and nourishment. We can take example of endoparasitic flatworm or Platyhelminthes, that is Taenia. Freshwater Platyhelminth, we can take example as Planaria. So habitat, endoparasitic and freshwater. Endoparasitic example is Taenia, freshwater is Planaria. This is about the habitat. Let's talk about the mode of excretion. Platyhelminthes are ammonotelic. Ammonotelic means they excrete ammonia as their nitrogenous waste. Their nitrogenous waste is ammonia, and the excretory structures are flame cells. Flame cells for excretion and osmoregulation as well. Flame cells are also called as solenocytes. So why are they called as flame cells? Because the structure somewhat looks like this. This is the excretory duct. We have already discussed about this in detail in a separate video about the flame cells, the excretory structures in platyhelminthes. There we have taken a look at these things in detail, and also we have taken a look at these ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism, aminotelism, and many other nitrogen space in a separate video. But here we are not going to discuss all of those things. Just here we can see. So here we can see this is the excretory duct and this is the nucleus, and from here there are some cilia which are arising like this. So these are cilia. The movement of the cilia looks like the flickering of the flame. So it looks like, what is flickering? Flickering means wavering, means shining unsteadily. So something like that. It looks like the flickering of a flame on a burning candle. So the movement of cilia looks like the wavering of the flame on a burning candle. That's why they are called as flame cells. Flame cells are also known as solenocytes, and these are considered as protonephridia, and these help in excretion and osmoregulation. So these are monotelic, and we have taken a look at the structure as well, the excretory structure. Now, digestive system. So endoparasitic, so here we can write it like this. Endoparasitic platyhelminthes, these don't have digestive system. No digestive system is present. In case of freshwater platyhelminth, there is digestive system. So there is presence of digestive system. Why do endoparasitic organisms don't have a digestive system? Because they don't need it. Because they live, we told that they're endoparasitic. Endoparasitic means they live in someone's body. They are a host. They have a host. So they live in someone's body because of someone, means it need not to be a human, it can be any animal as well. So endoparasitic means they live in someone's body. And why are they living there? Because of the nutrition and nourishment. So from there only they get all of the nutrition and nourishment. And they don't have the digestive system, and they don't need to have it as well. They don't want, and they don't need it, and they don't have as well. So endoparasitic organisms don't have a digestive system. Freshwater platyhelminthes, they have the digestive system. If digestive system is present, what kind of digestive system is it? Is it a complete digestive system, or is it incomplete one? It is incomplete one. Incomplete digestive system. This kind of body plan, we call it as blind sac body plan. Blind sac body plan. Blind sac means, we know that body plan are cell aggregate, blind sac, and tube within tube. Blind sac means there is only the digestive system is incomplete. That means it's not completed. They don't have two pores, like there are no two openings. Mouth and anus are not there. Just one opening is there, and from that opening the food enters and the food exits as well. So there is only one opening where the food comes and exits as well. That's why we call it as blind sac body plan, and they have incomplete digestive system. So this is about the body plan and the digestion and excretion as well. Also, these are hermaphrodite. Platyhelminthes are hermaphrodite. That means male and female sex organs are present on the same organism, and they are dioecious. Also, they are bisexual. Means the sexes are not separate, the genders are not separate. There is no male and female like that. Just if there is a flat one, that's it. It doesn't have any gender, male and female. All of those things are not there. Just they are bisexual and hermaphrodite. Also, we can take one more characteristic, that is about their development. Development may be direct or indirect. Direct development means there is no larval stage. That means they don't undergo these larval stages, all of those things. Indirect means they have the larval stages, they come under those, and then they become the adult. So development can be direct development or indirect development. Anything can happen. So these are some characteristics of Platyhelminthes. Now let's take some examples. Here, examples of Platyhelminthes. The first one is Turbularia. Next, Taenia solium. This is very important one. Taenia solium can also be called as tapeworm. Why are they called tapeworm? Because they look like tape. Yes, they look like the measuring tape. The measuring tape that we use in our daily lives. They are so flattened that they look like measuring. They look like the tape. So we told that they are dorsoventrally flat. They are flat like this. They are so flat. The body is just squashed like this. So that is tapeworm or Taenia solium. This is a very important one that we need to remember. So you can see here that the tapeworm is so flattened, it is squashed, and it looks like a tape, just like a tape. It looks like, if you have to be more precise, it looks like the measuring tape that we use. Next, we can take one more example, that is Fasciola hepatica. Fasciola hepatica is commonly called as liver fluke. So hepatica, means something related to liver. Hepatocytes means the liver cells, those things. So Fasciola hepatica means liver fluke that present in the liver region mostly. Also one more, that is planaria. Planaria is also known as, wait a second. So planaria are also known as Dugisia. So these are the two terms that we give to the same organism, Planaria and Dugisia. And Planaria is a freshwater platyhelminth. So these are some examples of Platyhelminthes. Most important ones, there are many examples, but these are the most important ones. Turbularia, Taenia solium, that is tapeworm, Fasciola hepatica, that is liver fluke, Planaria, that is Dugisia. Also, it is a freshwater platyhelminth. And these are also some characteristics that we have taken a look at. So we have taken a look at the body plan. Then we have taken a look at the body plan, symmetry, the germ layers, the body cavity, the cephalization. This is important. And habitat, the excretion, the digestion, and all of these things we have taken a look at. We can take one more, that is about the nervous system. Nervous system is ladder-like. Ladder-like nervous system is present. So here we have mentioned that they have the head, but they don't have brain, spinal cord, all of those things. Here just we are talking about the organisms based on the development, based on the evolution. So in sponges, they don't even have a head, eyes or something like that. Cnidaria, no. Ctenophora, no. But when we are coming to Platyhelminthes, it is developing. They have a head, but it's not so well developed. There is a distinct head, but we can't like tell where is the brain and all of those things. Brain is not there, and nervous system, that's why it's ladder-like. So there is a nervous system which is in the shape of a ladder. So these are some characteristics of Platyhelminthes or flatworms and some examples as well. And we have taken a look at the scientist, that was Gegenbauer, who coined the name, who gave the term Platyhelminthes. So these are some characteristics of Platyhelminthes and the examples as well. Taenia solium is the most important one. Taenia solium or the tapeworm. So here we have taken a look at some characteristics and examples of Platyhelminthes or flatworms.